What a day of football. It's old news, but that's a funny picture.
My mind running like butter on toast. I'm sitting back, getting comfortable, like yo. I'm done with a decade of paying rent late. My funds dried up, but I kept the pen spraying. Now I'm penning these babies and getting paid. Penetrating the game, up a shot day. So if you play this in the fall, what's up? I know the summer wasn't long enough, like what the fuck? But yeah, everything will come around. We gon' shut it down. My circle people 100,000 mutual hours. Good. Yeah. I don't really fuck with triangles no more. Nah. Say, I don't really fuck with rectangles either. Nah. No, I don't fuck with hectagons either. I'm done trying to work the angle. It's enough just working the circle. The circle. Circle.
All right, what up, everybody? Happy Monday morning quarterback, overreaction Monday, whatever you want to call it. We're going to talk some football. If you're going to watch us on the recording later, that's cool too, because I take the break a little, like, not slow, but I like to go over the games. We used to do this. I probably won't get to them all. We'll pick up later. But real quick, we had 2 people win their paper football. This will all get posted on, we usually do these on Tuesday mornings after the Monday night games. But Larry won with his Giants. We're going to talk about Saquon Barkley going back to his rookie form. Giants going for 2. He's got balls. McCarthy, this is a great opportunity to talk about this too. The Colts, McCarthy will not win the $5 credit because they tied, but he also doesn't lose his paper football. The Felton, you lost your Cowboys and they lost their quarterback. And then Fred Bell for Pitt barely snuck that one by. That game, week 1 was crazy week 1. But yeah, y'all got 5 wrong in the games, so no winning this week. I wasn't even count the Indianapolis one. I was gonna actually knock it down to only needing to get but you got 5 wrong. So yeah, you got more wrong. You need to do 12 out of 16. So we'll see how Denver-Seattle goes if you do it. But again, it's not easy. This is straight pick. Imagine betting against the spread. I lost every bet yesterday. I'm not kidding you. And it was so close. Like the Jags and the Lions were looking like, I was like plus 4.5 on, or no, I'm sorry. The Jags and Oh, I can't even think it was like for like a small bet for like $200. The Jags blew it. They fucking blew the game. Oh, it was I want to say the Falcons. They blew it. There were some bad beats at the end, but that's all right. Week 1 is crazy. Usually week 1's my most lucrative week. It was not the case. I didn't lose a ton. I don't bet big, but I bet big parlay games. One was a 4. I hit 4 out of the 5, and the 5th one was. Man, I gotta look it up. I like to post some of my stuff so you guys can see what I'm betting on and stuff. No, Felton, you got the Cowboys. Fred Bell got the Steelers, is what I have here. That's what I have on the list here. Is my list maybe wrong? I don't know, it could be. But let's go over these games real quick. We're gonna do some recapping, give my take. First of all, I mean, if you drafted one of those top wide receivers, it worked out week 1. I mean, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, all proving that they deserve to be picked early in that first round. Barkley with a great game. Who were some of DeAndre Swift had a pretty decent game, late first round, early second round picks. Najee Harris, a bit of a disappointment. Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, huge disappointments. But let's just talk about these games one at a time. Eagles and Lions. Eagles barely sneaking away with it there, 38-35. But man, people were saying Jalen Hurts going to be that dude that you can draft as a fantasy quarterback. Fantasy being the word right there. Now they did win the game, but he had 0 passing touchdowns. That's okay because he had 90 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. There's 15 points from your quarterback there. Another few points with his passing. But how about Miles Sanders? 13 for 96 and a touchdown. And then A.J. Brown, 10 for 155, but no touchy. No touchy. Oh, you have the Steelers? Did I mess it up? Oh, I got the wrong list. It's the wrong list. That's my bad. Let me switch the list. What month are we in? Literally where I'm at. What month? What number do I type in? Here we go. Let me fix that list. Did I maybe copy the wrong list over? All right, hold on. I think I copied the wrong list over. Yeah, I did. Give me just 1 second here. It's because I printed out the old list, and then I must have just screenshot that one. Just 1 second, por favor. Thank you for bringing that up. Still struggling with my voice a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Man, the trip was wild, but there we're good. There we're good. But yeah, A.J. Brown looks like the real deal. We'll see how much Tennessee misses him, throughout the season. We saw them a little bit. We'll get to that game too. There's a Derrick Henry elitist, just nice cards. And first one up, Quay Walker out of 75. The Green Bay Packers. And before I get into all these games, I'll try my best to kind of go through these and talk the highlights. But can we just stop with certain overreactions? Like, Joe Burrow is not that bad. All right. Everyone's like, we told you he was trash. These are the same people who said when he tore his ACL or had that injury that, haha, all you people who invested in his cards, sucks to be you. And then those people went and doubled down on his cards and then last year made a fortune. So let's not overreact from a bad game of turnovers because they still almost won that game. Almost won that game. I know, Jamie, you're trolling, and there's a Matt Cora out of $3.99, and I get it. It's a Steelers-Bengals game. You have to give them shit. They blew the game, and they know it. Burrow knew that. He knew he blew that game. They said he sat in his locker room, fully pads and all, for an hour and a half. Everyone left. They said he left briefly to do an interview, and he came right back and sat. He was the last one in the locker room, fully clothed, just processing. I have no fear for them. I don't. But I do fear that the Steelers lost a huge part when they lost Watt. Torn pectoral. It could be 6-8 weeks. It could be the whole season. So we don't know yet. But again, they still have a great defense. Minkah Fitzpatrick with the blocked extra point just tells you how that game went. A block extra point. When's the last time y'all saw a block extra point that wasn't in Tecmo Super Bowl? Just craziness. Here we get out of 349. Trevor Lawrence. That's a spellbound there. Yeah, you mean one Super Bowl and done? I mean, that's not like a great bet. It's very hard to win twice. How many does Aaron Rodgers have? He has just one, right? I mean, like, let's be honest. That's not really a much of a bold prediction, but he's got a long career ahead. Joe Burrow, playmakers. Again, I think the path for him is so difficult, and this one's going to be 7 out of 16. Lewis Sign. I don't know who that is. He's going to go out to the Vikings. But yeah, the AFC is just, maybe if he switches to the NFC, he'll have a chance. And then Troy Polamalu, there's a rookie on deck. Breece Hall, super quiet yesterday. Tyreek Hill, not a bad game. It's good to open cards, see players, and say how they did yesterday. There's for the Pittsburgh Steelers, not a name you see often in cards. Player used material. Wish that was game used. That's a good way to put it. He won't be back as a bungle. Yeah, I'm not sure who the Steelers are yet. I'm not sure who and this is no disrespect to the Steelers. They won the game. But after watching that and seeing how it went and knowing the injury that happened, I feel good betting on the Bengals to finish ahead of the Steelers. I wish the Steelers could have capitalized on those turnovers a bit more. It's why I said the Rams scare me. I mean, we turned the ball over 4 times to the Rams, and they weren't able to capitalize on that. Like, they still only had 10 points. That's crazy. Najee, have you heard anything about the Najee injury? I haven't heard anything as far as how serious that is. He has been injured all preseason with a Liz Frank. They don't talk much about it, but apparently dealing with a Liz Frank all season, which scared me. I pulled a lot away from him. But kind of to finish up this Eagles, I'll try to do it while I'm opening packs, this Eagles-Lions game. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Miles Sanders, all with great fantasy performances. But here's what was scary. If you own DeAndre Swift, which I started to first round late picks. Yeah, Felton, that's funny about Tyreek. But Jared Goff, not a horrible game. 21 for 37, 215 yards and 2 touchdowns, only 1 interception. DeAndre Swift had a completed pass. But here is what's scary. DeAndre Swift, great game. If you drafted him, you're happy, right? 15, 144 and a touchdown. I don't think he had much in the passing game. 3 for 31. So he did have another 6 points there. So he had 26 points in PPR leagues. All right. Great. That's awesome. Here's the bad part about that. Jamal Williams, 11 carries, only 28 yards. 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns. If DeAndre Swift gets those 2 touchdowns, he's the number 1 fantasy player of the day. But Jamal Williams, they weren't long runs. They weren't. They were in the 5-yard line. They were in the red zone. They were not like these massive runs that he broke off. Yeah, 4 rushing touchdowns by 4 different guys on the Eagles. That's a great point. And one of those was Jalen Hurts. No passing touchdowns. Amon-Ra was the leading receiver. He did have a big drop, but he was 8 for 64 with a touchdown. I think he dropped one in the end zone, if I recall. And then how about Chark? Chark, 4 for 52 and a touchdown, coming in with 15 fantasy points. Not being drafted in some leagues or super late. Hawkinson only 4 for 38. I mean, that game was a little wonky. They came back at the end. It wasn't really as close as it looked at the end, but they made it close. So, yeah, Eagles-Lions kicking off an NFC matchup. I believe both, after watching the NFC games, both of those can be in talks about possibly making the playoffs this year. I don't think we have to chalk up to any of them to not being in the playoffs. Out of 399, Jordan Davis, Fournette, Eckler, and Swift. Fournette, man, pissed off Michael Parsons last night. Rookie elitist Sam Howell. Nice card there. Jalen Hurts, Myles Garrett, Kyler Murray, and Diggs. And then Jalen Naylor out of 49. Some short prints for these Vikes today. Who's got Minnesota? Jim Larson, Jonathan Taylor, Gabriel Davis, Trevor Lawrence, and there's a Devonta Smith who literally did nothing yesterday. Nothing. Where was he? What happened? Does anybody know? What the hell happened to him? He was in my daily lineups. I have no idea. He was supposed to be that dude. Trayvon Walker with a huge interception yesterday. Huge interception, and it didn't work out. But big play from him yesterday in his rookie debut in a regular season game. Jamal Adams out of 399. Yeah, man, he was just non-existent. And this guy, unfortunately, went out of the game yesterday. I haven't heard much about his injury, but Wan'Dale Robinson for the Giants going out to Alex Cheshire. Giants, I got to go watch it into the game. My family was home. I was trying to watch it. They wanted to watch some stupid movie, and since I was away all week, I can't say no. So I'm watching it on my tablet. The kids were crawling on me. So all I know is that they scored, and when I looked, it was now 22-20 instead of 21-20. It was they went for it, or 21-20 instead of 20-20, I guess it was. What the heck happened there? Kenny Pickett, rookie on deck there. He just got big balls and went for it. Is that what happened? Kyron Williams out of 999. Dak, we'll get to the Dak news then. Rookie elitist Aiden Hutchinson. The Giants screwed your parlays. I remember what the upset was. My upset of the week, the Houston Texans. That's what killed me. I had the Texans and the Jags in a huge parlay. It was like $25, but it won like 170 something. Of course, the Texans pushed, and then the Jags blew it. Out of 99, Samurai Torre, Waddle, and Brandon Cooks. Yeah, it was like, maybe we'll do that game next. We'll get to another game. Well, let's talk about Colts and Texans. I'm going to go in order here because we are going to post another 4-box break. The final 4 boxes of this will get posted a little later today. And then we'll move over to some mixers and stuff. But I promised that I would do my best to finish the case as a PYT, especially if you were one of the guys who got the same teams in the first, 2 breaks, the first 8 boxes. So it's just, man, I was so excited because the Texans were leading like 20-3 or like 17-3 or something like that. And I was like, boom, nailed my first upset special, right? Like that was my upset special week. Now, don't get me wrong. I screwed myself on both ends because I was like, you know what? I'm still in pick'em. I'm still going to take the Colts because it's pick'em. Like I bet the money line as the upset special. But like, I'll be safe. I'll take it as the pick'em. Nope, I screwed myself there because you had to give up points and pick'em. So I made sure I screwed myself both ways that way. You see that's what good people like me do. We say, hey, I feel really good about this, but just in case it doesn't happen, let's screw myself on the other side. Idiot. Freaking idiot. So the stats going into this. Matt Ryan, man, like you got to be a little excited if you drafted him in like the bajillionth round as your quarterback. Better than Dak. Dak gone. He's got 6 to 8 weeks where we're not going to get any points out of him. So Dak's gone, but Matt Ryan, 32 for 50, 352 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Not great numbers, but again, enough to make you feel like, hey, I made up for it in other rounds of the draft, and I have Matt Ryan as like, whatever number quarterback round you got him at. Jonathan Taylor doing Jonathan Taylor things, 31 for 161 yards and a touchdown. Sorry, I just got a message. Jonathan Taylor, 31 for 161 and a touchdown. And then that was it for rushing. Like Nyheim Hines had 3 carries for 4 yards. Nyheim Hines was active in the passing game, 6 for 50. So if you got Nyheim Hines in like a best ball league, he didn't do awful. He got you 11 points in PPR. But receivers, man, it was like Dolan for 46 yards, Campbell for 37 yards, Strachan for 36 yards, Ali Cox for 26. But Pittman Pittman lived up to the draft position. 9 for 121 and a touchdown, getting you over 27 fantasy points. I mean, you paid up for Pittman. He was like late second, early third. But coming through, man. Coming through for sure. Justin Herbert, we'll get back to the Texan stats here in a minute. There's a sauce. Yeah, it was like a good day for fantasy if you had the right people, like it always is. But like there were a lot of right answers that got answered, like early draft picks. And then there were some that was just like, man, what did I do? I'm feeling that with Aaron Jones right now. I got a lot of shares of Aaron Jones. I'm like, not sure what they're going to be. This happened to Green Bay last year. We'll get into that later. This exact same thing happened to Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay last year, so I'm not going to overreact. Micah Parsons, 2 sacks on Brady, but then also got lit up by Fournette. If you didn't see that, go look it up. He tweeted about it after the game, giving Fournette hell, being like, yeah, that was you're a pussy ass or something like that is what he said. It was a cheap shot. It wasn't necessarily a cheap shot. He's like, I wasn't looking. Don't act like you're a tough guy. Woo, this is pretty out of 49 for the Baltimore Ravens. Bob Riley. Yeah. Dylan did get a touchdown though, right? But yeah, CEH. I will say this. It's not that it's a bad thing, but it bothers me for fantasy purposes. The little underhand thing Mahomes does, and that's why you draft him. I mean, he was probably a value at where he was getting drafted as a quarterback. It's not that I disagree with him doing that. I disagree with that as a passing touchdown. As much as I disagree with throwing backwards across the field as a running touchdown, right? So like that happened to Cam Akers in the Rams game. They didn't score a touchdown, but they threw backwards. It's a run. It was clear they throw. The ball went like 12 yards. But these little like underhand things that go 2 yards, to me, it's like that's not really a pass. But all right, I mean it's the rules. But I wish it would update that. Here's a nice Tom Brady elitist. Pattying the stats. Blah, blah, blah. Nick Chubb. Man, the whole Baker Bowl was a letdown. Even though it was like a good game in the end, 26-24, it was still a letdown. It was not a very exciting gameplay. Jalen Hurts, Myles Garrett, Donald, and Eckler. And here we go. Miles Sanders out of 49. One of the most impressive performances of the day based on ADP. For fantasy purposes, Miles Sanders, man, they're going to use him, getting it done. Cooper Kupp there, Lamar Jackson. And we'll get to see this guy tonight, Kenneth Walker out of 9.99. Yeah, is it a shovel pass or a shuffle pass? What is it called? Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's right. But a backwards pass is also a pass, but that's called a run. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not arguing the fact that it's called a pass. But a backwards pass is also called a backwards pass, but counts as a run. I don't get the difference. Like, because it's behind the line of scrimmage, I do get that. But Baker did not look too good. And he kind of like low-key threw his coach under the bus already. Maybe that's not what he was doing. What's this coming up? Tom Brady. Tidal Waves. Out of 349. That's a cool card. Haven't seen any of those yet. And there was a Davis Mills card. He managed to lose his own. Larry had to be so excited, right? Because, like, he got to go into Carolina, watch the Browns beat Baker. He liked Baker, but, like, he was in his Brown stuff. But, Jonathan, wouldn't you agree then? Like, I guess I'm not disagreeing with that can count as a pass, but hey, Larry, I bet you loved it, man. I was happy for you, dude, to be honest. It was like the perfect scenario. I was a fan. But John, wouldn't you agree that if that's going to be considered a pass, that by throwing like 12, 15 yards across the field just because it's behind the line of scrimmage, shouldn't that be considered a pass? How is it any different than this? When they're running and I pitch the ball to you. It's like a pitch pass, right? Like it's a pitch. So if I shuffle it or I do this, I don't know. It all comes down to the line of scrimmage is what it comes down to. So that's the fine. I don't like it. I'm allowed to not like it, dude. He bought Panthers gear. He had it like on underneath so he could walk out with dignity either way. Hey, Larry, tell us, how was the vibe at the game? Like, they didn't talk much about like they were in Carolina, so, obviously Baker wasn't going to get booed, and it's not like he did enough bad things to get booed by his own fan like Dak did. Dak got trashed. Dak is living in hell right now. The dude got his hand broken and then got trash thrown at him walking out of the stadium. They were at the Cowboys stadium, and he got his trash. They got trash thrown at him. Literally, his fans are like, "You're trash, Dak. We're going to hit you with it." That poor guy. Oh, yeah, I real quick wanted to talk about the Texans. Davis Mills, man. Are we ready? Are we ready to say that maybe we underestimated the Texans and Davis Mills just a little bit? 23 out of 37, 240 yards, 2 touchdowns. All right. No running game. Dameon Pierce, to me, biggest letdown of the day. He played like where he was getting drafted when drafts started, not where he was getting drafted in the 3rd round when drafts ended. He had 11 carries for 33 yards. 1 target in the passing game, which he caught for 6 yards. So an additional point there. And again, both touchdowns go to O.J. Howard. The Buffalo Bills drop O.J. Howard. He goes to the Bengals, doesn't get signed. I'm not sure what happened there. They were really saying that, Larry. Who do they want? Cam Newton? Sam Darnold? Who are they trying to get? They had all these options, right? Mark Andrews. But yeah, O.J. Howard, who the Bills let go, and there's a Daxton Hill out of $3.99, gets 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns for the Texans. That's crazy right there. 2 for 38 yards. Ooh, here we go. Pen Pals horizontal. Jamison Williams for the Detroit Lion. Going out to Special K. What up, Stan? There you go. Seb, are you talking about the Cowboys? That sums up the Cowboys franchise. Yeah, man. It's one of those things that you got to start to be a bit concerned about the longevity of the Cowboys the way they are as we know them now, the Jerry Jones Cowboys, because unless they go get a quarterback, their season's over. I just don't think Cooper Rush can go out and win 2 or 3 games with that team and then we get Dak back in 5 weeks. We went 2-3. Dak's going to clean it up because I just don't know that Dak's good enough. It's not like it's Mahomes that's going to come in there and then, manage to get it cleaned up. I just don't think he's good enough to be that guy. Out of $3.99, Cooper Kupp. What happened to Keenan? Keenan Allen? What happened to him? Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This is a Craftsman going out to the Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe go for someone like Minshew. We don't know if he's going to be any better than Cooper Rush, to be fair, at this point. I would like him more. I think he's a more fun guy to watch. Brings a little excitement. I'm not going there if I'm him. I'm not wanting to go there, but he wants to play Micah Parsons, playmakers. Aaron Donald. How about this? Alec Pierce. I believe he dropped one right in the end zone, wide open. That game, that's the difference in that game than winning and losing. Man, Keenan Allen, I was just saying too, he's been so healthy. He had all those health injuries his first 2 years of his career. People started saying, oh, Keenan Allen's an injury risk. He's not worth drafting. And his 3rd year in, he went off and has never really looked back. He hasn't dealt with a lot of injuries, but of course, now that we trust him, 10 out of 10, Alec Pierce, very nice card there. Justin Jefferson with a huge day, and Matt Ryan. There we go. Yeah, and that's the thing. Today on Good Morning Football, the quote was, they have this, and this, and they have a quote on, they have air quotes, Super Bowl winning quarterback. That's how they said it, because nobody believes that he's that guy, right? And before I move on from this, we're going to move on from the Texans-Colts game. We're going to talk a little bit. I'm going through the scores here. We're going to move on to the Browns-Panther game real quickly. Look at stats. I want to look at stats with you guys. You're right, Scott. That's what I want to get to. We're talking about who held up and who let down. We've only done the Eagles-Lions game and the Colts-Texans game. But I lost my train of thought here. shoot. Yeah, like Dallas's coaches need to go. Yeah, I completely lost my. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Can we get rid of ties in football? Do we like them? Does anybody like the tie rule? I hate the ties. That's what I was going to say before we move on from the Colts-Texans game. Like, who plays 75 minutes of football and they're like, yeah, we're cool. Let's just go home. Like, you only need a field goal. Or do this. Just extend overtime. Right? Like, extend it. 15 minutes. Do you know how many quarters in football go without a score? Like, there's tons. There are so many quarters in a week of football that go without a score. But we're going to play one overtime quarter. Or at least make it like, hey, we're going to give possessions. Each team gets, possessions. Let's do possessional scoring so that there's a winner. The overtime is ridiculous. Out of 399, Kirk Cousins, Metcalf, and Moore. There's a Drake London. Let's get into this. I'm going to pull up his Browns Panther stats. Mahomes, Watt, Harris, Herbert. There's a Brian Cook out of 999. Sky Moore, seeing the Chiefs players. Sky Moore had a reception or two, right? Isaiah Spiller, Blue Ink Pen Pals going out to the Chargers. Everyone been saying, oh yeah, the Chargers, I have to go look at the stat, but were the Chargers that good yesterday? I mean, I know they won. I'm not taking anything away from it, but I didn't get to watch it enough to say, were they that team? Are they up there with the way, the Chiefs performed yesterday or the Bills? I mean, the Chiefs absolutely outperformed the Bills. I mean, Patrick Mahomes looks like he's on autopilot scoring 5 touchdowns. He doesn't even look like he's trying. He's just yeah. And I love, he does, we call it valiant tongue because we all do it we're doing anything athletic. He's got the tongue rolling. And I love the look he gives when he throws one of those little sidearm. The dude is tough. He's tough. And you got something really nice, Stan. I'll show you on the recap. Had a 349 DJ Moore. Scott, they kicked cheerleaders down yesterday on some of those kicks on the sideline when they were kicking at the field goal. Yeah, I mean, they don't even need to be in the end zone. I think what's his name? McPherson knocked on 3 cheerleaders on his one overtime field goal. They don't need to be in the end zone. We had kickers kicking balls on the sideline. Tolbert out of 399. What was going on with the kicks yesterday? And here's an out of 24 die cut Velus Jones Jr. That is a status die cut for the Bears. Yeah, I mean, that's what really won the game for him. Forcing the fumble, Alex. Mac forcing the fumble. But here, I mean, listen, we were trying to go through some of these games. We're in our third ones, Browns and the Panthers. And yes, the Browns won that game, but did they? Brissett was 18. This is the saddest part, that the Panthers lost this game. I think the Panthers lost this game more than the Browns won it. I don't know how you feel about that, Larry. Although the running game was dominant, Brissett was 18 for 34, 147 yards and a touchdown. Now, he didn't throw any interceptions, so there's something to be said about taking care of the ball. There's a nice Justin Herbert. Here we go. Kareem Hunt, 11 for 46 and a rushing touchdown. Kareem Hunt, 4 catches for 24 yards and a receiving touchdown. So 12 points receiving, another 10 points rushing, 20 plus points. I didn't go to train. Well, I mean, that's a reach for a comparison because I think I don't know how you can break down each player individually and say it's the same, but that game, I'm chalking up the Niners game and Bears game as yeah, it goes in the records book, but let's just stop. Let's not analyze that game too much. It looked like they were playing in a rainforest. It was not a tangible game to look at and be oh no, Drew Lance not doing this. Justin Fields looked pretty sure you can do all those things, but don't put a lot of stock into it. it wasn't even the field it was the field conditions, but it was like everything. Like it's not a fair assessment to look at. One of them just was tougher, grittier than the other, and one of them had, took advantage of opportunities more and won the game. That's what that game was. I don't think you can look at that game and be like, if they played that 5 more times, I don't know who I would take. Like each of the, I think it's just a perfect field conditions. We'll find out though, because, I don't know who they have next week. Josh, who does the Niners have next week? Bears have the Packers next week. And let's not pretend if the Bears lose that game handily to the Packers that the Bears all of a sudden suck or the Packers are all of a sudden good. Packers and Bears both with really odd performances and situations. So that's going to be an interesting game to see what happens. Kittle's without hurt too. So Seahawks next week. So I'll put it this way. If they can't get it done with the Seahawks and the way they're looking, But yeah, Nick Chubb, 22 carries, 141 yards, but no touchdown. Kind of that whole situation we talked about with DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams coming in. Now you got Kareem Hunt stealing these touchdowns. So for fantasy purposes, it's a bit frustrating. Maybe one of the surprising things, Christian McCaffrey carried the ball 10 times. Do we know why? Do we know why that Baker Mayfield had half the carries as Christian McCaffrey? I'm not understanding along the way. I mean, he had 4 catches for 24 yards with 14 touches on the ball. They didn't get a ton of offense. Robbie Anderson with the best performance of the day, 5 for 102 yards and a touchdown. What happened to McCaffrey? I'm not even talking about fantasy there for that purpose. No, and I think it was good. I mean, if and here's the thing. If the Lions would have won the game, then I'd be like, yeah, they don't care about your team. But maybe DeAndre Swift should have had the ball more in that case because they couldn't get it done. I mean, Jamal Williams scoring 2 touchdowns is cool. But out of 49, Derrick Henry, he's on a snap count. So the snap count is twice the amount of carries as Baker Mayfield. That's a nice Derrick Henry out of 49. But yeah, so that's just the Christian McCaffrey, and that could be a part of the reason they didn't handle that game. Baker Mayfield, I said earlier that he kind of threw his coach under the bus. He's like, well, we didn't come out fast enough. Almost like, I told you we need to come out, slinging and running and gunning. And he's like, we came out slow. There's a nice Aiden Hutchinson out of 99. There you go, Stan. Nice card there. Edwards-Helaire and Russell Wilson. Claypool, Brady, Jamar Chase, and Aaron Rodgers. Damian Harris and Chase Young. So many more games to get to. But, there was not much to talk about in that Browns-Panthers game. It was what it was. It was the Browns-Panthers, and it was a letdown. Dude, Star Watch, Joe Burrow, die cut. More die cuts in here than I remember in the past. I'll just read more about his injury. That's the thing. I'm still kind of getting caught up on this. We're not going to get through all the games today, or this break. I want to recap. I like going through these. I love talking to it with you guys. You didn't see him go on the field with that big pink color bomb, Scott? Oh man, that was wild. That game was wild. It was pretty cool. Definitely cool. But California, it was a letdown, man. It was really a letdown. Nico Collins, and here we go. Carson Strong, turn of the century out of 99. Let's hop into this 49ers Bears, and let's just look at some stats. Again, I don't want to analyze this too much, but Trey Lance, 13 out of 28, 164 yards, 1 interception, but he also had 54 yards rushing. Debo had 8 carries for 52 yards and a touch. It's almost like a Cordarrelle Patterson situation at this point. Jalen Tolbert out of 399. But nothing to really look at there. I mean, it just kind of he only had 2 catches for 14 yards. On the Chicago side, I mean, Justin Fields, 8 for 17, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. The big thing here was Khalil Herbert only got 9 carries, but had 45 yards and a touchdown. His long was 12. So it wasn't he averaged 5 yards a carry. David Montgomery had 17 opportunities, 26 yards, no touchdowns. Did have 3 catches out of the backfield. But do we see Khalil Herbert take the lead as the lead back there. Hey, we got another one out of 349. Spellbound Lawrence, you're working on it here. Who got the Jags? That's your second one of the break. Both out of 349. You get the E and the C. Maybe get it started. Ooh. Ah. Trey Lance is off on his passes, not by a little, by a lot. Again, ball was probably slippery. You know, you got first week nerves. I'm not putting much into that Lance game. I mean, the stats on that game are just ridiculous. The fact that the score was 19-10 shows you how ridiculous the game was. 19-10. Like, it's just a weird game, right? But next one up, Jaguars and Commanders. I mean, I'm going to skip over to the Commanders. 27 for 41, 313, 4 touchdowns for Carson Wentz. Does anyone know the last time Kyle Wentz threw for 4 touchdowns? I don't. This is not trivia. Was it his rookie year? The Commanders, man, Wentz stepping up. Now, he did have 2 interceptions. But Jahan Dotson, that dude, right? He only had 3 catches, but for 40 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jahan Dotson, the first rounder out of Penn State. So, Gibson, 14 for 58. McKissick, 3 for 8. The running game doesn't really exist. I mean, I guess it's not bad. He did have thing is, Gibson's thing is kind of like one of the things that I think they've talked about is ball security. He did have a fumble for a lost fumble, and then Curtis Samuel ran 4 times. And what's weird because he's still listed as a wide receiver, but he also had a fumble, lost fumble. Gibson, though, out of the backfield, 7 for 72 receptions. So in reality, man, the guy put up 20 points. I mean, Gibson had 20 fantasy points in PPR leagues. That's crazy. So again, but here's the disappointing thing. I expected the Jags to be coming out exciting, ready to roll. Started out with a nice game. Commanders, right? Should be able to take it down. Washington has a fairly tough D, but they just didn't look good. I mean, Lawrence, 24 for 42, 275 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The weird thing was, and Felton called it, I mean, James Robinson led the charge in the running game. 11 for 66 and a touchdown. Etienne only had 4 opportunities to carry. He did more with them. He was 4 for 47, averaged 11.8 yards a carry, as opposed to James Robinson's 6. What's going on there? I mean, we thought Etienne was going to be that dude, and he got 4 opportunities to prove it. He did it, but they didn't give him any more. Out of 83, Nakobe Dean. So the Jags just disappointing. Christian Kirk, 6 for 117. Zay Jones, 6 for 65. Marvin Jones, 4 for 38. Evan Engram, 4 for 28. Maybe a guy that you want. Oh, yeah, and James Robinson also had a receiving touchdown. So Robinson killing it. I mean, what did he get? 7, 11, 13. He almost had he's slightly under 20 fantasy points in PPR leagues. So a good league. But Evan Ingram, something to watch out for. He's open in most leagues. So if you're streaming tight ends, our other pen pal is going to be Tyron Davis-Price. So again, I think those are 2 teams we need to see a lot more out of. You know, I don't think we can do a whole lot of overreaction with that right there. Get into another game, try to do one more. And like I said, we're going to post the other PYT of this a little bit later, and that'll be our last PYT for this product. And we'll finish these games up. Daxton Hill out of 299. Yeah, you almost had to start both. And I'm starting to feel that way about maybe like Swift and Jamal Williams, that they can put up that many points. But how about this? Patriots 7, Dolphins 20. And Dolphins fans, a video went viral of just a regular Joe Schmo recording this, and they were like talking about how they're better than the Bills and like bring on the Bills. I get it as a Dolphins fan, right? You're hyped. You got this like studded team. You got Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and if you believe in Tua, there's a Jefferson out of 99. You're like, I'm sick of hearing about the Bills. Bring on the Bills. Well, week 3 we get them. So after week 2's over here, we play the Titans, and we'll see how we do against Derrick Henry's run game. We get to play the Dolphins, and to be honest, I'm not like that's not a walkthrough. Another vintage Steelers patch here, a vet. We had a Troy Polamalu. This is going to be the James Harrison, numbered out of 299, throwback threads. I love it, Scott. Isn't it fun, the week one overreaction? And again, some things I think are worth looking at, and some I'm just like, stop. Why are we even worrying about this right now? It's week one. But yeah, Dolphins and Pats. I mean, there's been a lot of questions around Belichick and his Pats all season. Who are the coaches? What like who's in charge of the play? It's just so many weird questions around Belichick. They hyped up Ramondre Stevenson so much. Again, he split carries with Damian Harris and Ramondre split carries. Damian Harris had 9. Ramondre had 8. Damian Harris averaged 5.3 on his and 3.1 for Ramondre. So the leading receivers, who they said it was going to be, Jacoby Myers, 4 for 55. Ty Montgomery is the only offensive scorer. Ty Montgomery, you know, the one Aaron Rodgers kicked off his team like a bajillion years ago. What the heck? There's a Jalen Waddle out of 75, full throttle. So just a wacky week with some of this stuff. Again, over on the Dolphins side, I mean, not a bad performance by Tua. 23 for 33. Nothing to be like. Another nice Justin Jefferson. Or did I put that in the back? Okay, sorry, that was the same one I just shoved to the back. Justin Jefferson out of 99 there. So yeah, Tua, 23 for 33, 207 yards, 1 touchdown. No interceptions, though. I saw him. Yeah, absolutely, Scott. That's what I've been saying. I think we don't have like a ton of star-studded people on the Bills. Like Josh Allen obviously is a stud, but we just have a well-rounded team. And I think that's, you see like those are the guys that go. You need a full team to win it. But rushing, Chase Edmonds, 12 for 25. Mostert, 5 for 16. Waddle rushed 1. Hill rushed 1. Tua rushed 2. No presence in the rushing game. No receivers over 100 yards. Like I said, I saw him overthrow somebody. Tyreek Hill was 8 for 94. And like someone said, throwing up his hands already because he's not getting the ball. He did have 17 points in PPR leagues. But that game, an absolute fantasy letdown. Just a letdown. Yeah, you're right, Seb. Absolutely. We talked about that too. And we thought Najee was going to be that guy. Clearly, that didn't really work out a ton. And we're going to get into that game next because Najee Harris, 10 carries, 23 yards, no touchdown, averaged 2.3 yards a carry. Do you know who the leading rusher on the Steelers was yesterday? Chase Claypool, the wide receiver for the freaking Steelers, was the leading rusher with Najee Harris drafted in the first round. 6 for 36 yards, averaged 6 carries, didn't get a touchy. Matter of fact, the Steelers did not. Oh, Trubisky had 1. Oh, Najee scored. Najee scored a receiving touchdown. So the wide receivers are playing running back. The running backs are scoring receiving touchdowns. Just wacky. I don't know what's going on there, but it's wacky. But again, Pat Freiermuth, their tight end, the leading receiver on the team, 5 for 75. You go over to the Bengals, and everyone wants to criticize Burrow. He had 5 turnovers. 4 of them were interceptions. He also lost a fumble. Had 2 fumbles, lost 1. But his stat line wasn't real bad. 33 for 53, 338 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He also rushed for 47 yards. Jamar Chase doing Jamar Chase things. 10 for 129 and a touchdown. Bro sucks. I'd take him. I mean, not over Josh Allen, but I bet you the Cowboys would love Joe Burrow right now. You wouldn't take Joe Burrow right now, Jamie? You're so full of shit. You saw Trubisky play. I was excited for him, but come on. You wish you had Burrow on that team. Don't give me that shit. Using Claypool like Patterson. I think was he more of an end-around guy, or did they run him up the middle? Cordarrelle Patterson out of 399. You have Pickett. Oh, man, it sounds so pretty till reality sets in. Aaron Donald, TJ Watt, Davis Mills, and Burrow. Dude, there we go. Hey, look at this. Who's got them Dolphins? Jason Franklin. Get yourself a nice Tyreek. 2 to Tyreek. This one's going to be numbered out of 99. Back to the future. Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah, Scott, there's a lot of people that go that route, and it's hard to argue that, especially when you see the leading fantasy people yesterday with Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp from Thursday. I don't live in reality. That's a great line. So do Cowboys fans, so it's all right. Bills fans may be living in a fantasy world right now too. I mean, again, everyone's overreacting about, I think, that game a little bit. Let's play the Titans. But yeah, how about this? Mixon 27 for 82 in carries, but also 7 receptions for 63 yards. Even without a touchdown, he had 21 fantasy points. But Jamar Chase 10 for 129 touchdown. Hayden Hurst 5 for 46 had a disgusting catch. Gross, nasty catch Hayden Hurst did. And Samaje P. Ryan 3 for 33. Higgins went out early, had 2 for 27, but went out early. That hurt them for that game. And then the next game up is going to be the Ravens and the Jets. We're going to save that for the final PYT. We'll get into those games. We'll be posting that PYT here in a little bit, probably around I'd say 3 o'clock. McCaffrey out of 399. There's a Micah Parsons. Jones, Miles Sanders, Najee Harris, Kelsey Kittle, Evan Stafford, Wan'Dale Robinson out of 399, Gibson, and Kamara. Scott, man, he looked like rookie form, right? I'll pop over just to see his stat line real quick compared to Derrick Henry. Saquon Barkley, 18 for 164 yards and a touchdown. Did have a fumble, but recovered it. He also had 9 points in PPR receptions. If you count PPR, 6 for 30 with 9 additional points. Sterling Shepard, the number 1 receiver yesterday for them, 2 catches, 71 yards and a touch. Derrick Henry, 21 for 82, did not have any catches out of the backfield. So, I mean, very much outperformed by Saquon Barkley. Is the Giants D really that good? Did the Titans just blow a lead? I mean, Tannehill's 20 for 33 with 266 and 2 touchdowns. Their receivers caught all over. It's a weird game. What up, James? Oh, a lot more points than Henry. Yeah, I mean, Henry really only had, in non-PPR league, even in PPR leagues, 8.2 points. I mean, Henry doesn't finish, in the top, 15 rushing scores. That's crazy. All right, here we go. Tyreek Hill out of 49. Jalen Waddle out of 75. Nice little Dolphins break. Justin Jefferson, the 99. We had 2 of the spellbound Lawrences out of 349. The E and the C. That's a big name to get, though. Henry out of 49. Hutch out of 99. We got the Joe Burrow's watch. And that one's not numbered, but Star Watch die cut. Pretty cool card. A Velus Jones Jr. out of 24. Seb, did you see Daboll jamming out with the locker room after the game? Out of 99, Kyler Murray out of 99. We have Alec Pierce, 10 out of 10. Parsons to 99. Sanders to 49. The passing title, Tom Brady out of 349 going to the Bucks. Sam Howell, rookie elitist. Jalen Naylor out of 49. Kenny Pickett, rookie on deck. Out of 99, Samurai Torre out of 99. Matt Corral to 399. And out of 16, Lewis Sign. Yeah, the game tonight. I mean, the Seahawks. How about the Seahawks come in and impress us, Scott? That'd be a nice way to end week 1 craziness. Seahawks come in, upset Denver Wilson's Broncos. Walker goes off for 140 yards and 3 touchdowns. Geno Smith has 2. Dude, that'd be wild. I have some stock in Russell Wilson, very little in any other aspects of their offense. But I mean, I'd love to see it. I'm rooting for a crazy game like that. It'd be nice. The dab money. Oh, shoot. All right, here we go. First one up, James Harrison, Pittsburgh Steelers out of 299. Pittsburgh going out to Jonathan Felton. We had the Justin Herbert for the Chargers, Dougie Berger. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who was a surprise yesterday, Kansas City Chiefs. We didn't even get to that one. We'll get to that next because I have a lot to say about the Chiefs. Elite coverage for the Steelers, Troy Polamalu, Pittsburgh Steelers there. And then Carson Strong for the Philadelphia Eagles out of 99. Troy Hockenbach. A Tyron Davis Price going out to the San Francisco 49ers, Ricky. And Isaiah Spiller for the Chargers, LA Chargers going out to Dougie Berger as well. There you go, Stan. Jamison Williams, horizontal pen pal for the Detroit Lions, special K. I was kind of hoping they pulled that off. I like Lions. I have a lot of Eagles friends as friends too as well, but kind of rooting for the Lions. It would have been nice to see them start off their hard knock season that way. Batty for the Baltimore Ravens going out to Bob Riley. And Wan'Dale Robinson for the New York Giants. It's going to be going out to Cheshire. That was a cool win for them. Turn of the century, Quay Walker for the Green Bay Packers. John Stevener getting that one. And Tua out of 99 for the Miami Dolphins. Jason Franklin. All right, here's the thing. We are going to pull a paper football for this. All right, you are eligible for Week 2 Daily Fantasy. You'll be getting an invite for that. And if I pull your name for the paper football after we do the two $5 credits, it does count for Week 1. So if they won, you won, and you get to move on to Week 2. If they lost, it's automatically get in. So it's almost another chance for an instant 5, or you don't win anything and you move on. Because I had posted this before the game. I want to give that person, like, I'd hate to draw, like, say the Steelers are gone, but the Bills. And then you're like, oh, shoot, I should get the $5 for Week 1. But it has to go both ways. So first things first, we'll do two $5 hitless credits. The Week 1 pick'em won't matter because we didn't hit that goal. So we'll start Week 2 pick'ems on this next break. And it will also go towards Week 2 fantasy as well. Daily fantasy. That'll go up to like Thursday. Yeah, man. You did. All right, top 2 on $5 hitless credits. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. I mean, again, we have a few more games to discuss. It's just so wacky. I think, opportunity to overreact. Don't want to do it too much. It's going to be the Bucks and the Cowboys. That's ironic. Dallas Cowboys, Jason Mella, Tampa Bay Bucks, Dougie Berger, each getting $5 hitless credit. What a bummy way to end an awesome week. This is going to be for Week 1 Paper Football Challenge. Here we go. One winner. Oh, that's not where that goes. In roll 5. Good luck. What PA team do I like more? I'm not going to answer that question. I'm going to save myself on that one. Honestly, I'm not. Probably the Steelers. Eagles fans are just so... More often than not, they're just such douches. Steelers fans are like cocky and they're always doing the 5 ring. But they're still like... At least they're like my people. They're like a little bit more rednecky and they're blue collar. Eagles fans, man, just suck. Eagles fans are angry all the time. Always angry. Tampa Bay Bucks, Dougie Berger going to get the ball here. Let's see who he gets. All right, Dougie, you got yourself the... Oh, no, I drew 2. And they both lost, I think. Panthers and the Raiders, so it doesn't matter. I was like, it's like literally stuck to my finger. But it doesn't matter because they both lost. Sorry, Dougie. He's like, yeah, thanks a lot, asshole. But I just being straight. I was going to let you take one if one was a winner. One fell out to the Browns. It is what it is. JT is a nice Eagles fan. I was probably a meaner fan at the Bills-Eagles game than he was, but they won, so. Yeah. All right. We're going to post up another PYT. The final PYT of this. And then I have some for mixers then too. So thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you survive Week 1 of fantasy. I was a little concerned, Jamie. I don't know if I'm going to make it out of that guillotine league even Week 1. No, I will. I got Russell Wilson yet tonight. And there's some guys that are done and have less points than me. So my team's not great though. All right, guys. I'll catch y'all a little bit later. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good rest of your morning, your Monday morning, Monday day.